As dawn rose again over Porto-Novo, word of the open-air meetings spread like a breeze through the villages. Men and women who had once watched from afar now came near, drawn by songs of healing and light. MAWULOWE. From small gatherings beneath trees came hundreds more. Came barefoot, some bringing mats, others children. What began as a testimony became a movement, the honor of a church. He had not sought to found a church, yet in his heart the Spirit whispered that this was the vineyard entrusted to him, to lead souls back to the living God, the last boat of salvation. In Ibadan, news of strange happenings reached Reverend Godfrey Parinda, Methodist scholar who had once pastored in Porto-Novo. Stories spoke of a former carpenter performing miracles. Curious yet cautious, he resolved to visit, for the man they spoke of had once been his parishioner and now claimed divine revelation. When he arrived, the church was about 3 months old. Reverend Parinda stepped from his car, greeted by familiar faces and unfamiliar fervor. He asked why, since Oshofa was a Methodist, had he not deployed the spiritual power within the Methodist fold. Oshofa replied softly, "If we had understood the old paths, we would not have stumbled upon the new." Oshofa then further said that his point was well taken, but Methodist pastor at Porto-Novo then, one Benyegba, preached against him, saying he had brought magical powers and was deceiving people, which turned many against him. Oshofa sighed and said, would it not have been better if they had sought the truth? Before Parinda came, his arrival had been foretold, Oshofa said, and he was instructed to speak patiently and calmly. He was instructed to tell Parinda to stay until Sunday and worship with them at the Methodist church. After service, he was told to stand by the door and watch those who wear rings of metal not meant for marriage, for in their homes dwelled idols in darkness. After giving him this message, Parinda stood speechless for some half hour in thought, hitting his forehead with a pen and crossing one leg over another. Oshofa murmured, "The message of God is never small." He then went out to the doorway of Oshofa's father's house, stood by his car for another half hour with his aide, Pastor Adil, consulting quietly. Then he promised to return, but Oshofa never saw him again before he left. At the same hour, in Zevo district, a woman named Tiana V had died after a short illness. The church was barely 2 months old when her younger sister MAWULOWE prophesied that Tiana V's body should be brought to Oshofa, for Jesus would raise her from the dead. A messenger came in crying, saying, "Father, Tiana V is gone, but MAWULOWE says we should bring her here." When the body was brought in, he asked them to place it on the bare floor. His relatives were all Muslims except his father, and they cried out in alarm, "La ilaha illallah, what has this boy done again? He has brought the corpse home?" But he told them calmly to leave the dead body there. In his heart, he whispered to his Savior, "Jesu Olùgbàlà mi, jẹ́ kí ìyanu rẹ hàn." Jesus Christ our Savior raised Tiana V from the dead. The crowd trembled and rejoiced. They took her to the hospital to bring Dr. Alexandre, who had once treated and certified her dead. When he saw her alive, he ran, slamming the door, thinking a ghost had come to speak to him. It was also MAWULOWE who, at the first Seaside Christmas Festival, sang the song of eternal devotion, the song that will forever mark our worship in our hymns. The song goes thus: Jesu, èmi yóò sìn ọ́. Jésù, èmi yóò sìn ọ́, níbi mímọ́ yìí láàrin ìjọláre. Èmi yóò sìn ọ́ títí dópin, èmi yóò mú kúnkún relé.